How is everybody? I'm here. I'm here. Just slow. We all know how that goes, right? Tracy, Deborah, how you feeling tonight? Haven't seen you around in a minute. I have, but just since what, Saturday? Are you getting around better? Had to get a drink. I was frantically sewing to try to get this ready for you guys tonight. I put my leaf on what I'm going to turn into a towel, and then I decided that I needed to hem the edges, and I'll trim the back threads after we're done tonight. But I'm going to make a top for it. I've got that all but ready to go. So I'm like, yay! And how are you guys? I talked to Colleen earlier. She is not feeling great. She started back on driving her college kid to college every day again now. And heat stroke, I guess. It was 100 degrees today, and she was having to wait because he's got like one class. So for her to drive home, she'd be there 5 minutes and have to turn around and drive back. So she decided to hang out and wait. No more bandages. That's awesome. Yeah, it was my about being out in normal life too, but we have to do it sometimes. Hello, Nancy. How are you tonight? I saw you left a comment about Terry. Was it at Mom and Pop's that he was feeling okay? Sherlock, there's my girl. Sherlock is here. So Colleen probably won't be here tonight, but numbers are still going to get given because that's what I do. Colleen is still over 1190. Sylvia is at 861. Dawn at My Quilt Projects is at 974. Lori at Quilting in the Country is at 235. And Shannon at Slay Arts is at 536. She did an 6 or 8 hour live Sunday afternoon. More power to her. I don't have that kind of stamina. Oh, thank you, Sherlock. I appreciate you putting in the links for everybody. So, with that all done, he's feeling better, trying to get over the flu. Ooh, I hope he gets over it fast. That stuff is nasty. So, I'm going to do another towel tonight, but I'm doing this one a little bit different than the last one that we did with the band. I kind of want to do one with either a Velcro or a buttonhole. So what I've got here is I have 2 pieces of fabric, and this is a fairly narrow towel because I want to put it on the front of a narrow cabinet. So this towel is only, if I could add, 8 inches wide after it's been hemmed. And this is 5 inches wide. I'm going to put a couple of pleats in the top of this green towel, and then I'm going to do a basting stitch across the top of it. And then I will do this like a sack, sew it up around 3 sides, turn it right side out, and then put this together. So there you go. Tracy's got her cheerleader thing going. I'm going to move the camera. I hate moving the camera while I'm live, but being on YouTube Live doesn't let me do 2 cameras. It only lets me use one. And I'd prefer to keep the trolls out over being able to use 2 cameras. So I'm going to put my hand over this and turn the camera so that you guys can hopefully see what I'm doing. That's better. All right. So I have my iron on, and I've already ironed this towel. So let me show you how I'm going to do this. I have what I consider the prettier sides of the fabric together so that they'll be on the outside when I get done. And I want to turn up the bottom of this, a 1/4 inch on each side. I'm going to iron that in place. Just a quick iron, nothing fancy dancy. I'm not using any glue or any of that, just putting an iron around it. And it will get sewn down whenever I put this on top of the towel. PT does always whoop butt. I'm using, there we go. I'm doing some exercises that I found from a guy on Facebook. I was going to say TikTok, but I don't TikTok. And he has some simple chair exercises that you can do. I've been doing them for a while now. They aren't super strenuous, but they are meant to build strength back up. So that's what I'm working towards. And I've seen some improvement. Got me through COVID, so I'm pretty happy about that. I heard somebody else had COVID, but I don't remember who it was. Or had a really bad cold if they didn't have COVID. Was it Miss Ellen who had the flu? Or am I remembering incorrectly? The only place I really go anymore is Mom and Pop's, and I don't think I saw her there this weekend. So what I'm doing here is I'm just taking and trimming out my corners a little bit so they don't have bumps whenever I turn it right side out. Well, hello, Dawn. How are you tonight? I just called out your numbers. Oh, it was Kelly. Okay, sorry, Kelly. Miss Ellen, I wasn't trying to dish you or give you that again. I know I had seen somebody was sick, but I didn't remember who for sure. I've had too much on the brain. We had to get our house inspected for insurance. So, I had to clean out under all the sinks, move everything out away from the water heater. And just make sure she could see all of the electrical systems and plumbing and all that. Cost a pretty penny, $150 for this chick to do her little inspection. Well, not little, she was thorough. But our insurance company moved out of Florida, and our house is over 20 years old. So before Citizens, which is our only option, will take us over, we had to do an inspection. And the reason that Citizens is our only option is because we have a mobile home. I always hear my mom when I say the words mobile home. I always hear her telling me, don't you call that a trailer? Yeah, COVID is definitely rearing its ugly head everywhere, or so I'm hearing. A friend of mine who's in Iowa is a parapro, or a teacher for handicapped kids, and they're having to be extremely careful when they move those kids from one place to another, especially when they move those kids from one place to another, in order to make sure that, the immune compromised among them do not get sick. You guys see what I'm doing? I am trying to make it so that my pleated towel fits perfectly inside my top piece and that my pleats are still even. And I'm pushing it up in there about an inch because I want to make sure that it stays. Did you get it from Walmart, Dawn? That's where I got mine. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to sew all the way around the top, and I'm going to start right there on where the towel goes in on the right side. I'm going to lay everything out here. And this isn't so much to give you guys a pattern as to point out that you can make these towels any size, and you could really do any design you wanted on a towel for your kitchen. My last name is Rosnack, okay? I don't find anything with Rosnack on it. I might find ours, but I'm never going to find anything with Rosnack on it. So if I want something with my last name on it, I'm going to have to make it. Some of you may have the same issue. I could make Lori Miller towels, though, and put them up in my Etsy shop for weeks. Just spell Lori different ways. There's about 1 million of those ladies floating around. And my original married name, my last name was Mills. That was easy to find, but Rosnack's tough. Heck, when I was growing up, it was hard to find Melissa. It was an unusual name. Now it's like everywhere. It's a Karen name. Or so my son tells me. He's a heathen. He could be fibbing to me. I doubt it, but he could be. All right. So I started there and I ended there. And there's my towel with its little pleats in it. And what I'm going to do with this towel is I am probably going to embroider on this right here at the top. I don't know if I'm going to embroider a name or a picture or what, but I'm going to embroider on it. And then I'm going to put a little piece of Velcro down here for these two to match. And the reason I'm putting Velcro instead of a buttonhole is because last weekend, my husband said, "Oh, I really like it when these are easier to pull off. He doesn't like it when I put buttons on them because they're hard on his hands when he needs to grab a towel just to dry something." And this one may never end up on the stove or being used at the sink, but I want to put it on the front of a narrow cabinet. So I'm thinking that the little piece of Velcro would work out better. I do not sell at bazaars. I don't sell anywhere. Let me take that back. I do sell occasionally, like to, let me move you guys back up here to me. I do sell occasionally to like friends and family, and I've got some, I call them my imaginary friends, from an old AOL board for frugal people. A lot of those ladies are still friends of mine, like 60 something of them. Every once in a while, one of them will message and want a bib or a baby quilt or something like that. And I sell to them at a deep discount, but I do sell a little bit. But I don't go out and like advertise it. I don't have I do have an Etsy shop, but there's nothing in it. So here's the towel we made last week. And then here's my little topper. And then, like I said, I'll just put some Velcro here so it'll go over that little narrow cabinet. And I need to make, I don't know if you guys can see it. I put a curtain rod up here with my design wall on it. And there's a gap down here at this end that I would like to cover. So I've got to make a curtain for that. Hello, Alfonso. How are you tonight? Colorado. Is it cold up there? You're getting the smoke from those fires in Canada? 102 in Colorado. Wow. I had a friend who lived up there years ago, and she was getting snow this time of year. Of course, she was at a very high altitude, so you may be lower. And I went to Denver in my 20s when I was pregnant. I had a heck of a time breathing at the altitude we were at. My mom and I were walking around the city, and I was just like, I am whooped. You're in the Denver metro area? I actually have a red and white project coming up, Tracy, but it's a subscribe button. I'm going to make one for myself. I was looking at it the other day, and there's tutorials out the ears, but I thought I would like to have one maybe hung up behind me or something. So I'm looking at that. Denver metro. Yeah, Dawn, global warming is real, I think. So yes, everywhere is having some wild weather events. California's got a hurricane. First time in 90 something years. I was blown away. And we were talking about this earlier today. I always thought that everything on the West Coast over to Japan was always called typhoons. But apparently, if it's within a certain distance of the United States, it's actually called a hurricane, just like it would be on the East Coast. Hey, Deb, how are you tonight? Yeah, the extreme weather stuff is getting really, really old. Get my drinky here. I picked a really quick project because I have been still having some issues with losing the voice. Yeah, Alfonso, are you a quilter, a sewer? Do you craft at all? Oh, me too, Deb. I am so happy. Wayne picked a terrible time to start driving for a job instead of working remote. Dioramas? Do you do dioramas out of like wood or do you do them out of sewing fabric? Oh, Dawn, I've never heard that, but I've never looked. That you may be right, that it depends on how it rotates. I know that water rotates the opposite direction if you're below the equator. I've been below the equator. I've seen it happen. Oh, that's really cool. Christmas. Do you do videos, Alfonso? Might be something interesting to check out. And Don, you'll have to look that up. I can't do it while I'm live, but that's interesting. Nerd Forge. I think I've heard of the channel, but I don't know that I've ever actually watched it. Thank you, Don. I appreciate it. I need to give that girl a wrench, don't I? I haven't, because I haven't asked her privately. Dry cleaners? Do you have dry cleaners near you, Alfonso? Seems like they'd be giving wire hangers away. I don't know that for sure. I just remember when I was a kid, that was a really good place to find them. Because when I was a kid, they didn't have plastic hangers. And every time somebody says the word wire hanger, all I think about is the crazy lady. No wire hangers. No more wire hangers. Oh, that's interesting. I wonder if Colorado banned them because they're aluminum or anything. I do watch a couple of Norwegian channels. Yeah, maybe thrift stores. Mommy Dearest, thank you. I didn't think that movie was so bad, but I grew up in one of those houses. You're wrong? Oh. Oh, so it is because it's so close to the US that they called it a hurricane instead of a typhoon. Hmm. That's interesting. It would have made perfect sense though if they did spin different directions. Because like I said, I have seen where the water goes the opposite direction when you're below the equator. There's actually, I want to say I saw it on Bill Nye or one of those. There's actually a place where there's like two flushing faucets. They're not for pooing in or anything, but one is like just above the equator and one's just below. And if you flush them at the same time or drain them at the same time, they go opposite directions because they are just that much on each side of the equator. It's only a couple feet apart. Well, have a good dinner, Alfonso. I appreciate you dropping in. If you do make videos, let us know. Maybe we can go check them out. But if you haven't been able to make them in a while, you may not have any up on it. Yes, that's right. They've been naming them after both men and women recently, Deborah. Um, in the last couple of years, I think. In the last, I don't know. I know Andrew was 1992, maybe 91, 92. And I don't know. They almost all come up from Africa for us. And I have to think about that because I know that, well, Andrew came up from Miami area and Charlie came up from the Gulf area. They were both named after boys. So that may be an outdated convention at this point. Yeah, but I'm just going back to the big ones because they retired the names after big hurricanes. I barely remember Ian because we didn't have any damage from it, at least not where I'm at. Yeah, well, they appear to be getting bigger, Dawn. Those hurricanes do. We brought a curtain burner down. We had Fiona here. I had to evacuate for that one. I'm old too, Deborah. I was nursing a baby when Andrew came through. I was like 23, maybe 22, 23. So it's been a minute. I was just, I got an invite the other day via Facebook. My 40-year high school reunion is next year. I'm just like, really? I can't believe it. Yeah, it is an ad again. I marked them off this time. There's a lot of grief. Gonna have to have a chat with YouTube. I guess I need to go to creator support and ask what's up. Oh, Okay. Well, that's cool. I'm into music. Deborah, do any of you have premium? Tracy, Sherlock, Dawn, Deborah? Because I thought Sherlock had premium, and I'm going, you're getting an ad? Why is that? YouTube does their own thing. Well, that's weird. I have an ad blocker on mine, so even I have premium because that lets me download my own videos if I need to, and sometimes I do need to. Um, but even without it, I have AdBlock Plus, and it doesn't let ads through as long as I'm on the computer that AdBlock Plus is on. Does that make sense? Yeah, I'm not giving YouTube any money either if I can help it. They sent me a little. They sent me a little thing telling me that my income had dropped, and they said it was because I hadn't put up enough shorts lately. And I was like, I'm still putting up 3 shorts a day. What do you mean I'm not putting up enough shorts? Um, okay. If they do change it to where ad block doesn't work, then I'll do something else with it. I'll log into YouTube Premium from this laptop too. I just didn't want to do that because I try to watch a whole bunch of other stuff in here, and ad block messes with some of the places that I go for embroidery and that kind of stuff. Mine were in there this weekend. I'm hoping that they're going to climb out now because this weekend I think I got a total of 400 views over the whole weekend. I was going, what is this? Because that's not usually how my week goes. You got an ad that had some great country singing? Well, that's nice. I hope it was good. Now, this guy is not traditional country, but the first time I heard Jelly Roll, I was like, who is this? And then I finally got to hear the whole song. Um, the lyrics start out, I only talk to God when I need a favor. I only pray whenever I ain't got a prayer. He's got a really great voice for that, and I really like the song. But it took me, I don't know, 3 weeks to find the song to be able to listen to the whole thing. Because everywhere that it was up on YouTube, it was showing like copyrights, or you'd get 10 seconds or something of the song. I finally found his Facebook page, and on his Facebook page, you can see his whole performance of the song at the CMAs. Yeah, me too, Don. I heard it. Some guy on Facebook Reels mixed it with an older Miley Cyrus song, and I thought they went really well together. That's how I heard it the first time, and I had no clue who Jelly Roll was. Very nice, Nancy. It was some good country singing. Okay, great. All right. So like I said, I only picked a short little project for you guys tonight because I wasn't sure how my voice would hold up, and I'm starting to lose it. I can already tell. So I'm going to say goodnight to everybody. I think that Lori and Tracy got all of the links put in for everybody, and I appreciate that. If I missed one, I'm sorry, or if we missed one, I'm sorry. Leave me a comment down below. I do read the comments, even if they don't show up right away. And I will post your link in the comments if you were here and participating in chat. Wednesday, or not Wednesday, Thursday is going to be a pre-record. It's going to be a quilt builder card deck. And that's because I've got another video that I'm working on doing right now that I'm having to build a pattern for. I haven't found one anywhere online, so I'm putting together my own version of it. And that will hopefully go up by this weekend for you guys. So I'm trying, Dawn. I don't get to talk all day anymore. Wayne's not here during the day. So the only time I talk now is when I'm on here with you guys. But I love you guys. I appreciate you being here. If anybody wants to criticize your work, tell them to go on home. I think it's beautiful. Have a good night, guys. Love y'all.